the React series previous week that we are going to start this Redux beginners to advanced, because Redux I initially thought to complete Redux in the React series only, but it will take a bit of time. It will take at least 2 days to do it, and then the plan is to do the projects after that. So some projects, and those projects will be such that you will learn some additional topics, like thunk projects will be there. There is something new as known as a toolkit. So React toolkit project will also be done. So those are the planning. So let's see, means in 5 days we have to complete. So as always, it will be Monday, Tuesday, then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, because on Wednesday I do some other projects, or maybe this time I will do some React Redux projects or project only, and maybe complete it by Friday. Let's see. So let's get started, and let me share my screen. Redux is always a dreaded thing, which every people means everyone is very much scared of Redux. But if you understand Redux in a correct way, it is very easy. And on the top of it, Redux team are constantly trying to make it very easy with the introduction of hooks. Yeah, hooks are introduced in Redux also. Earlier it was higher order component, which used to cause a lot of issues. Means they are still there, which used to complicate things. Everything it used to complicate that higher order components. So now those higher order components are removed, not removed actually. You can use that still, because everything is nowadays, everybody goes to make everything as a backward compatible. So backward compatibility is still there. So now what we are going to do, we are going to start now. So I don't believe in much theory, but then also we have to see some theory. Means what is Redux? So Redux is a predictable state container for JavaScript app. So notice that I'm saying JavaScript app, not React app. So Redux is, we have always seen Redux used with React, but we can use it with JavaScript app only, and it is a state container and it is predictable. So that is about Redux. So, and as I've told, Redux is not tied with React. It can be used with Angular, Vue also, and even vanilla JavaScript. And what we are going to do, because everybody thinks Redux is very, very complicated. So someone is saying hello. So hello, shake. Okay. So everybody says that Redux is very complicated. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to make Redux very easy. And for that, again, we are going to first do it with a vanilla JavaScript app. And then we are going to move into the main thing. See, Redux at the end of the day, whatever they say that it can be used with Angular, Vue, vanilla JavaScript, but the main use of Redux is with React only. But to learn directly with React, it is very complicated. So we are going to do one thing. We are going to thanks Abhishek, you're welcome. Okay, so now as I was telling, so we are going to learn the Redux with vanilla JavaScript first. So what is this? Means React. There is something known as React Redux, which actually binds Redux and React. So that we are going to see later on. But as I am told, let's do it without React first. Then we are going to move to React Redux thing, and we are going to see both of those things. Okay, how they are related. We are going to see that thing. Okay, so to do this, I am in a folder, and here I'm going to do a KIR Redux demo. Okay, a folder I have created, and let's create a empty node app npm init -y. So we can create an empty node app like this, npm init -y. So a package.json file will be created, and then we can do all the npm installs and all those things. So a package.json file is created, which is very important for a node app. Node, at the end of the day, React is also a node app only. Okay, it has got a lot of installations, npm like Babel and all those things. Okay, npm I Redux. I will going to do npm I Redux, because Redux is a standalone library. We can use it like this, npm I Redux, and we can do a React Redux also. It means when we do it with React. So those two libraries we have to do. So for this we are going to install only Redux. Then let me open it with VS Code. VS Code I have opened. I have to make it a bit big. So this package.json and all these things will be there. Okay. So here index.js, anything we can give, server.js, some people take it as server.js, some people take it as index.js. So let me take it as index.js. This is a typical Node.js app. So Node.js app are nothing but they're similar to vanilla JavaScript app. Only the benefit of creating a Node.js app is that you can use npm modules, which if you do HTML CSS JavaScript like a simple JavaScript app in which there is no node modules, you cannot use those very good node modules. And in this, node module is required because we have to use the Redux. So that's why we created a node app. Okay, so and it is okay. So now coming back to Redux have what three main concepts. One is a store, one is an action, and one is a reducer. So store is the thing which holds the state of your application. Action or action creator is the thing in which we change the state of the application, and reducer which actually creates out the state transition. Actually you will see that the reducer is even important than the store. So in my view, store is just a hypothetical kind of a thing. The reducer and action are the most important thing. So the state changes and all those things happen in the reducer itself. Okay. Redux is always a, that's a good question, but Redux is always front end only, because nothing even though we are telling that state is predictable and all those things blah blah, the moment you refresh the browser it will go away, just like a React. Unless you save it in a database, nothing is permanent. From a React to a Redux app, it is just used for state management. State management in the sense, in bigger application the state management become very tough. So there are two solutions to use it. If you go through my React React previous week I have completed React completely from beginners to advanced. So in that we wanted to send some data from one component to some component which was deep down. In that case we have to use context API, or else we have to do the prop drilling and all those things. So those things, so I'm telling centralized state, but it is actually a centralized data store which is there. So in bigger application, in production level bigger application, it is a must. And it is a must in the interviews also, in any application. See, at the end of the day, in any application, in any company you are going to work, they are going to work in a big application in which at least 10 front-end engineers will be there, 10 to 15 front-end engineers in one project, and you're going to use a Redux. Because those projects are around 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 lines of code. Those projects are very big, and Redux is required for that. A very big use case of Redux is when we log in with some JWT token or something, and then the login information we want to pass to many different component, so that we store with Redux in a central location so that it can be used in many different places, because we don't want to have that pass from here to there and all those things. So that is, Redux is all about a front end only. It's nothing a back end and all. So let us do it. So we will take a X shop example. So let us assume that we are a shopkeeper who is keeping track of number of X in the shop. So we will track it in an object. So like this. So here num of X, and like this, nums of X equal to 100. We are going to keep track of it, and this is how we keep track of state. We'll see the whole code now. And now I'm going to show one image. Let me show that image. So see, as I've told that there is an action creator, there is a store, and there is a reducer. So this is the whole of the React works like this. A JavaScript app is there. It will dispatch some action, and that action will go to this reducer, and this reducer will be connected to the store, and whatever is subscribed to this, it will change. It will get the new state. So one more thing, Redux is a very advanced topic. If you don't know React and all, it will go over your head. So you have to have a knowledge of React, a very good knowledge of React, then only you can learn this Redux. So this is very advanced topic. Okay, so that is like this. So action creator, reducer, and store, these three things are there, and it's better to see through an example. But this is the thing, so it can be like this JavaScript app. I'm telling that it will dispatch, and different component can dispatch, and a different component can receive the new state. So it is like that there is a global state or a global data where one component can change the data and other component can receive the data, or the same component can also change the data and also receive the data. So here we are going to see like this number of x is a state, and we are going to change it, and we are going to receive it in the same app. Okay, so like this, first thing we are going to do is a action creator. So action creator we are going to do, and in Redux app or a React Redux app, we have a constant like some person come and he want to buy the egg. So there will be a constant called buy egg, and then we are going to create the action creator. So action creator is generally a function which is like function buy egg like this, and return type is buy egg. So this buy egg is this constant, and then this comma info buying egg like this. So function is there known as buy egg. Okay, so now this is the action creator. So this is the action creator which will be given by a component. We'll see everything we will add, and then everything will be put in one place and all the dots will be connected. So let us go ahead, and now we are going to see this is the action creator. Now we are going to see the reducer. Okay, the reducer which changes the state, and for the reducer, the first thing is that we are going to have an initial state. Okay, so initial state, this will go into the initial state const so Abhishek, you have to learn React. Without this, as I'm telling that Redux will go over your head. So you see this thing, but what do? You go through my channel. Previous week was a React week. So go through those complete videos, then only come back to this initial state. So there will be an initial state which is, so we are doing it through JavaScript because it is a very complicated topic. People don't even understand. If I directly do it through React, it is not like that. JavaScript, you can do Redux. No, Redux is not meant for JavaScript. Redux is meant for React only. But directly through React, it is even more complicated. It is a very complicated topic. Okay, so const initial state is there, which is the number of x is 100. So this is the state. Okay, so now I'm going to have a reducer. So this reducer part, we are going to create a reducer part now. So the reducer is generally a switch statement, and const reducer equal to state equal to initial state and action. So initial state, I am taking this part. I have taken this thing initial state. This is known as default parameter. If nothing is passed, then this initial state is 100. So if we don't pass anything, the initial state is 100. Then we will have an action, and then we will have a switch case, and this switch is okay. So let me explain it. So switch case is like action dot type. What is this action dot type? So action dot type is a by egg. So in this case we are going to see everything. Action dot case will be a action dot type will be a by egg. So the reducer is the action creator is connected to the reducer. So reducer will have different cases. Here it is by egg, and what we have to do in the reducer, the main thing is that uh, we change the state, but we don't add it. Means what we don't override. So dot state I'm taking, because whatever the initial state is, we will spread it. We'll spread it, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this number of x, which is this, actually this number of x, it is -1. I am going to reduce this because someone is going to buy the egg. So one egg I am going to reduce. Number of x is equal to state, whatever state is there, state dot num of x -1, and there will be a default also, which is a return state. So generally the default will not run, because we are going to pass something like, we are going to pass a action creator to a reducer, and it will reduce one from the egg. So whenever we will pass this action creator, which is like buy egg, so suppose a person comes to the shop and he want to buy a egg, so we will pass this action creator, and this action creator will go to this reducer, and it will reduce one from the number of eggs. So with this way, so because we have to take in care of the earlier state also, we need to know what's the earlier state is. So that's why we are giving dot state, and we are going to spread it. So soon we are going to use multiple reducers, then it will be much more clear than why we are doing this dot state. So now the third part of the puzzle is the Redux store. So this part, Redux store, so we are going to create this Redux store. So for creating a Redux store, we need to add something from the Redux. Const Redux equal to require Redux. I'm going to do, and we are going to create a store also, that is from also Redux. So that's how we install this Redux package. Okay, so const create store equal to Redux dot create store. We are going to do Redux dot create store. We have done. Now this store has been created. So as I have told, in the store we do what thing, we hold the application state and also get the state with some functions we are going to get, and so we are going to do that. So now the final piece of the puzzle is like const state equal to, we have to use this create store, and in this create store we are going to pass the reducer. So the reducer we have to pass in the create store, so that this is how the store is created. So as I've told, the reducer is very important. Reducer and action creator are very important, and I feel it is even more important than the store. Store is just front view of the reducer, but don't go like that. Means it is like the reducer we are going to give like that, and then what I'm going to do, console log and initial state is like comma store. Oh, it is not state, it is, let it be store dot get state. So there is a function which, this get state function is not given by us. This get state function is been given to us by the Redux. So get state will tell us the what the state is right now. Okay, one more thing, the Redux state is different from the React state, which is a localized state, but the Redux state is a global state. Actually that is a lot of, that is a very big confusion. The Redux people should not have called it state or created it library, because it causes a lot of confusion. React state is always a local state, Redux state is always a global state. So anybody can use that state. It is not like one component can use it, any component can use it. Okay, so like this, then we are going to do store dot subscribe. We have to use the store dot subscribe because we are going to subscribe to it, and then updated state is again store dot get state I'm going to do. Okay, and then I'm going to do store dot dispatch by egg. I'm going to do this twice. So dot dispatch by egg, and we'll also unsubscribe to it. So for unsubscribing, we are going to do unsubscribe equal to unsubscribe, like this we are going to call it. So what we are going to, first we're creating a store, then we're getting the initial state, and then we are actually, this will run dispatch of by egg. So once the dispatch of by egg is run, so it will come here. So let me do one thing, let me first run it, then I will explain. Okay, and to run a node.js app, what we do, we just do node index.js. I'm going to do, see, initial state this has been run, which is the number of x is 99, and then we are getting this updated state from this store.subscribe. We are getting from here store.getState, and it is 99 one and it is 98 once. Okay, so just the thing is that it is not running like this. The subscribe is done, but when it is not running directly. How it is running? So this first the initial state is running, then actually this dispatch will run. So dispatch is a function which is used to run this function, by egg function. It is always, when we are going to do a React Redux also, we are going to see that we have to do it like this. Through a dispatch only, we are going to run an action creator. So this is known as the action creator. By egg is an action creator. So when the by egg action creator is been run, so this will be run. When we do this dispatch, this by egg action creator will be run. So one of the main thing in to understand in a Redux or a React Redux app is that whenever an action creator is been run, it goes to the reducer. So it is like, it is sort of a magic that an action creator is connected with the reducer, but it is behind the scene, it is connected. Means whenever I run this by egg function, what it is done, it will go to the reducer, and this type is there, this thing, this is nothing but action. So state is from reducer only, but this action is from here. So action dot type is by egg. If I have something like as by chicken, which we soon going to have, then that case will run. So it will run and it will come to this reducer, and a by egg, this by egg will make the number of x as -1, it will make it as 99. And then what will happen, since we have subscribed to it, this console.log will run updated state equal to 99. Again we are doing this by egg, so again it will go here, and now the global state, see, one important thing. So this is a Redux, that's why the global state now become 99. If it have been React, it will again have changed to 100, but this is Redux. The global state is sort of changed from 100 to 99. So from 99 to, it will be changed to 98. So that's why we got this 98. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, so now what we are going to see, now we are going to see multiple reducers. So as I've told that we can have multiple things also. So suppose our ad shopkeeper started to keep chicken also. Okay, so what we are going to do, like chicken, like this by chicken we are going to have. Now we are going to have another function like this. Now it will be much more clearer why we are going to have that in the reducer, the switch statement. Okay, so this it will be by chicken. Okay, and the initial state, instead of 100, let me run num of chickens is not 100, it's 10 only. So the next thing is that we can have multiple cases. This is one of the reason in the reducer we have a switch case, so we can have multiple also. Okay, so like this, So instead of this will be by chicken, and dot 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 state is now important. Why dot 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 state is now important? See, whenever we do a buy egg, the buy chicken state is also there. Whenever we do buy chicken, the buy egg state is also there. So the state contains both of the thing. Okay, that's why it is important. Okay, so now I will do the number of chickens is state of number of chickens, and state of number of chickens minus one. So I have done that. Okay, now what will happen? Everything is like this one. Just what I'm going to do, I'm going to dispatch a buy chicken also. Nothing else is changed. Let's go here. Let again run the node index.js. See now what happened. See now one more thing. Our initial state is like a object. Anyways, it's an object which contains both of these, number of eggs and number of chickens. And then updated is the first time when I the same logic will fire again. Now when I do the dispatch, this buy egg will run. Now the only difference is that when the buy egg is there are two switch cases. So when the action creator for buy egg is fired, this one will be run, and we have not touched the chicken yet, so it is 99. Again we are running the dispatch for the buy egg, and again it is coming here, and first case is run. Okay, first case is run and it is done. So again after that, so chicken is still not touched. Okay, it is still 98, and now I am passing this buy chicken. So now it will not run this case, it will run this case, but the earlier state is also preserved. That's why this dot 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 state is very much required. So the earlier state of your egg is 98, and even in this case the earlier state is 10. So that's why this dot 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 state is required, and we reduce whatever is respective things, we reduce that. So number of chicken, we are reducing the number of chicken. Number of eggs, we are reducing the number of eggs, and that's why it is getting like that. So one more thing is that, so multiple reducers are fine, they're very fine, but the thing is that in Redux project, on a React Redux project, which we are soon going to see. We are going to see React Redux project tomorrow, not today. Okay, so because we are going to learn that tomorrow. So there is something known as a combined reducer. Okay, there is something known as a combined reducer. We use combined reducer. We don't use multiple reducer, but we generally use combined reducer, and you'll see this thing always. And now we are going to change this thing into a combined reducer. So this is like an industry standard, and in a React Redux project also you'll get this. So that's the reason we are going to do that. This code is fine. There is no error in this code, but the industry standard is to use a combined reducer. And when we are going to do the main thing is, which is a React Redux project, because we don't use this Redux directly in a JavaScript, we can use it as the website says, but we don't do it. Okay, Redux is only for React. It is not only for React, it is for the creator created it for everything, but it was popularized because of React only, because React has got a deficiency, has got a problem for bigger project, that the global state is difficult to manage in that. And for that there are only two solutions. One is context API, one is Redux. Sometimes people prefer context API, but in bigger project Redux is very much required, because you can manage very complex states with this. That's why all React.js front-end jobs demands you to have a Redux skills. You cannot get a React job without Redux. Okay, so that is there, and you have to learn it. No other choice. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do combined reducer, because that is what we are required. So for combined reducers, what I'm going to do, first thing is that number of initial state like this, I'm going to comment it out. What I'm going to have both of the state as different. Okay, so like const initial egg state equal to num of x 100, like this. And now const initial chicken state equal to like number of chickens 10. So we have done both of them as different. Okay, so now the next thing is that the reducers, so this is okay, the reducers will also be separated. So in bigger project what happens, there are a lot of reducers are there. So it is not like that in one reducer only one case will be there. In one reducer there can be multiple cases also, but this is very small example, and we always tend to learn from small examples. Okay, so but then also for combine this combined reducer, we have to divide the reducer. Okay, so we are going to divide the reducer. So this const reducer is there, we are going to divide it. So how to divide it? So first, let me remove this buy chicken from here. Okay, buy chicken, I'm going to remove it from here, and egg reducer is initial state. So there is nothing like initial state. Now it is initial egg state is there. Action is okay, action dot type is there, buy egg is there, and this is all okay. Buy egg is there, number of eggs, because this is all okay. So egg reducer I have made. So similar to that, I will make a const chicken reducer. If the state dot initial chicken reducer, okay, that is okay. And then state action type is okay, and then I am going to have this buy chicken, and the chicken thing is there, and then this 3 should be there, like this. So effectively what we have done, we're just, let me make it a bit okay. So we have separated both of them. So the egg reducer is different and the chicken reducer is different. So we have divided it. Actually, we have divided both of it. So it is the number of eggs is there and number of chickens is there, and it is like this. Initial chicken state is there, initial egg state. We have divided it. So this is how in real project it works, because we have to use a combined reducer thing. So for combined reducer, we have to import a library. So it is like const combine reducers equal to redux.combine reducers. I have done. Now doing that is not sufficient. What we are going to do, so now the store will be created in a different way, but first the reducer will be combined. So we have not yet combined the reducer. See, both of them are not been used, so we have to combine the reducer. So how do we combine the reducer? So what we are going to do, const root reducer. And one more thing, when we are going to see a React Redux project, all of these things which I'm going to create, reducers, action creator, combined reducer, store, all of them are going to go in a separate file. So that is the only difference. This is a small project for with a JavaScript app. I'm showing Redux, so everything is in the same file, but it will not be there in the real type of project, which will be like a production project. Not production project, but that is how Redux is used. Okay, so is combine reducers I'm going to do, and then what I'm going to have here, so egg reducer. So one thing to notice is there, okay, see, this egg and this chicken have taken. So the egg reducer I have taken and the chicken reducer I have taken. But this thing you can give anything, but keep in mind one thing, whatever I'm giving, egg or chicken, that will become my state. We'll soon see the state is going to change a bit. So this is very important to understand. This egg and chicken are very important. These two things are very important because state are now getting named by this thing. We're soon going to see how. Now we are not passing the reducer, but anyways there is nothing like a reducer. So we are going to pass this root reducer, and this is the only change we need to do. And now when we are going to run this, we'll see the real change. See, now the real change which I was telling, see, this thing, egg and chicken are very important. See, now see this earlier state with multiple reducers. It is a number of chicken like this, and it is working fine, that dispatching by egg, then by chicken. This is like this. But then one thing to notice is that now see, it is an object. The state is not like initial state and initial chicken. So both of them are different objects. Now they have become different objects. So now our state is a bit different. It is an object of objects, means inside an object is there. It has an egg key and the value is an object. It has a chicken key and the value is an object. So it is like a different kind of an structure is already there. So this is something which a lot of people don't understand, but the structure get changed when you do a combined reducer. And in that also, in React reducers, React Redux also, we are going to see this. The structure is changed. Okay, so the structure is changed. Now this is what is all about combined reducer. People get confused a lot in this, but you go through this and you'll understand combined reducer. Okay, so the combined reducer has been done. Now what we are going to do, we are going to learn about middleware. You will hear a lot about middleware, especially the thunk middleware. And that is again another complicated piece of thing in Redux which a lot of people don't understand. But the middleware like thunk, it is very important to do asynchronous tasks. Like we can do a API call also through Redux, and it becomes a bit complicated. People generally don't do API call through Redux nowadays. They will do it through React only with a component did mount, or with a use effect hook in a component did mount variation, which we have seen in the previous week. We have seen that. So that is the way people are going to do, but there is a way through Redux also we can do. And we used to do a lot through the Redux in the earlier days, because I have worked it with React for a long time. Okay, so from the starting, sort of means 2016 sort of I have started. Okay, so before going to thunk middleware, we are going to see a simple middleware known as the Redux Logger. So, okay, so that middleware is there. So some earlier project is there. So there is a something known as Redux Logger. So Redux Logger is there. It's a middleware for Redux. So what happens with middleware? So with middleware in Redux, you can add a lot of functionalities, and like logging, like this case, like asynchronous tasks. Asynchronous tasks middlewares are required in Redux, like doing an API call and all. As I've told, we generally nowadays don't do API call through Redux. We directly do through React only, but we can do it. And it is not possible directly through Redux. We have to use a middleware in Redux, so that is even more confusing. Okay, and so middlewares are basically, they add functionality in Redux. And where does middleware comes in? So there is another concept is there. So middleware, generally from action to reducer, the middleware sits here. So here is where the middleware sits. Okay, here is where the middleware sits. From the action, when it is dispatched to the reducer in a magical way, between that magic, this middleware is also there. As I've told, from action to reducer, there is a magic is there, which is done by Redux. And during that magic, the middleware also comes. Okay, if the middleware is there, it is sort of like the action is throwing something to the reducer, and in the middleware catches it and adds something to it and throw it back to the reducer, if we add a middleware. So this is like that. So this logger we can use, and for using the logger we have to install it, and it will give us some additional information. Okay, very good additional information it is going to give. So let me copy it, paste it, and it is done. Okay, so now I have to go back here, to come here, const Redux Logger equal to require Redux Logger. So we have to include this Redux Logger like this, but it is a middleware. Okay, so we have to apply the middleware. So we have to again use something from Redux. Const apply middleware equal to redux.apply middleware, then const logger equal to redux logger dot we have to create it with this redux logger dot create logger. So this is something which we have to use like this when we are going to use the logger. So next I will come down, and when we use a middleware, what happens, like in this root reducer we are there. So here we have to use this apply middleware. Okay, here we have to use this apply middleware. Come here, comma apply middleware, and I have to use the logger. And now what this logger does, this gives us additional information. So it gives us additional information, so we don't need all these things, means all this console log we don't need. So this additional console log we don't need. What we are going to do, we are going to do this subscribe, and we want to remove this. Okay, we are going to, where are we? Yeah, we are going to remove this, and we are going to have an empty objects, because we need to pass something. So empty object we are going to have, and this is just the apply middleware we have done. So now you will see the magic if everything is okay. So this, see, without this node index.js like this, the result is coming like this. Okay, now if I do this, see the result, see the difference. I'm getting everything here. So I'm getting a bit of thing like this. A action has been done of buy egg at the exact time in microsecond. Then what is there? The previous state is like egg num of eggs and something like this, and egg number of chicken. And there are action is been passed which is of type egg and this, and then the next state is like this. So all these things I'm getting like this. So this logger middleware, that's why it's very powerful. Okay, and one more thing, beside this logger middleware, we have something like Redux tool, which is an advanced version of this logger middleware, and it is very much graphical. So still the programmers also love graphical. Everybody loves graphical more than terminal based things. Although people will say that Unix is everything, no, it is not. So this is sort of a terminal based thing. The same thing, we can see it in the graphical way through something known as Redux tool, which we are going to learn soon, means how to add it in the Redux. And it is very important, that Redux tool, because Redux projects, especially the bigger projects, are very complicated, and it is very useful to have that Redux tool at our disposal. So that is like that. Now what we are going to do, we are going to now learn as the async action, which I have told that which can be done through your React also. But we are going to learn through Redux also, because sometimes you'll see this example, see this in production level projects also. And today also a lot of people do this async action, they prefer to do it through Redux, not through directly through React. There are a lot of benefit also in bigger projects, which you'll understand when you'll go to the bigger projects. Okay, so for that async action, what I'm going to do, we're going to create some other file. Okay, so let me come here. Async actions.js I am going to create, and const initial state equal to loading is false, users. So we are going to go to an API call to the famous JSON placeholder. So user is an empty array, and error is not null, is an empty string. I'm going to make like this. Then const, we are going to always have this const fetch users request equal to fetch users request, const fetch users success equal to fetch user success, and one will fetch users failures equal to fetch users failure. Okay, so this is like that. We have done the initial state and all. Now the next thing which we are going to do is to create those action creators. So we are going to have 3 action creators here. So const fetch users request equal to like this, and return type is fetch users request, which we have just created. So first one will be like this, second one will be const fetch users success. So we are soon going to see how this all are connected. Fetch user success will get something known as the users, because and that will be the payload actually, and it will return that thing. Okay, so it will return the users like this, and okay, so this is like this, and the payload will be users. So API call, we always get a payload, so the payload will be like users, and we'll see everything once we have done everything will be connected correctly. Const fetch users failure equal to error. So here we will get the error, here we will not get the users, and here the payload will be error like this. Okay, payload will be error. Now what we're going to have, we're going to have the reducer. Okay, so let's create the reducer. Const reducer equal to state equal to initial state comma action, and we are going to have three cases here: fetch users request, fetch user success, and fetch users failure. So as API call, so see what happens in API call, the call actually take 1 to 2 seconds. Whatever API endpoints we are going to give, it will take 1 or 2 seconds. So whenever going there, so a request will be sent, and then either a success will be received or a failure will be received. So that's why we have three different states. Okay, so we're going to have like this, and then switch actions like this, action types. Okay, switch actions type, and fetch users request. There is a return which is dot 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 state, because again our state contains three things. All these three things our state contains, so that's a dot 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 state. And loading is true, so fetch users request, loading is true. So see, we can have a loading spinner also with this. That's why we have loading equal to false, so we are doing the loading is true in the fetch users request. And then fetch user success is there, again the dot 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 state is there, and dot 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 state is not required. Actually this is something which is loading is false. Okay, sometime it gives me nothing. Loading is false, loading is false. Users is actions action dot payload, and we will directly have. Sometimes what we can do, we can directly also give all those three things instead of spreading it. So this is much better to give everything. So if it is true, if fetch user success is there, then loading will be false, because we already got something, we already got the data in the users. So in the users, this users, we've got the data as action dot payload, because see this action dot payload, we are getting this, like the payload we are getting it's action dot payload. Okay, and then in the failure, again this I'm not going to have like this, loading is false, and users is empty array I'm going to take, and error is action dot payload. Now the error is the action dot payload. Okay, error is the action dot payload. Now this is done. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go up, and I'm going to include those Redux things. So let me take it from here, Redux and Redux and create a store also we have to take. So these are mandatory, so create a store also we will take. Now we'll go down and we'll create a store. Const store equal to create a store and the reducer, save it. Now to do a API call. Okay, so API call, we need two things. First we need access. We could have done with fetch, but let's use Axios. It is much more easier to do with access, and we use something known as Redux Thunk, the middleware. Okay, so let us add both of those things in our project. So npmi Axios and Redux thunk, Redux thunk. I'm going to do, okay, like this. It is done. Now again we have to do the middleware. So Redux thunk is also middleware like the your Redux Logger. It's a middleware. Okay, so we have to use this apply middleware again. Okay, apply middleware, but the Redux thunk, definitely the command will be different. So the command is like const, anything we can take, thunk middleware equal to require Redux thunk dot default. So dot default, this is a pattern, and we are going to install the Axios also. Axios equal to require Axios we are going to take. Okay, so this thunk middleware and these things we have to use. So the first thing which we are going to do, we are going to use that like this middleware we have added. This is apply middleware, we have to do like this with the reducer. So comma apply middleware, which is thunk middleware, because middleweight or why middleware weight middleware thunk middleware we have taken. So now we'll see the rest of the part of the puzzle, because we have to create a function. So this is not like this action creator will directly go here. There is another thing attached to it, which we are going to do it here actually. And there is will be a function like const fetch users. Okay, the function will be like this, and then like this we are going to have. And now we are going to use the dispatch in it. So dispatch means dispatch will be dispatching actually all these three different action creators. So there is something like a return function dispatch we are going to have, and then inside that we are going to first dispatch the fetch users request. So what is this fetch users request? So this one we are going to dispatch. Okay, fetch users request we are going to dispatch. Okay, and when we are going to dispatch that, the same moment we are going to do a axios, and axios to the endpoint of JSON placeholder, which will give us users, which is an array of object. If you want to see what is there, because it's a very common thing, it's like everybody knows the user endpoints and the post endpoint, those are very popular. So this is the user endpoint, the famous JSON placeholder, so which gives us an array of object. Okay, so this is like that array of object it will give us, and which is the users. So the moment I dispatch this in fetch users request, I'm doing an access.get also. Access.get I'm doing to the users endpoint, and then access.get I'm doing, I'll use a den catch blocks, not async of it. This den is much more easier here, so we can use anything. So I'm using the dot then and the response, and then I have to, we are going to get the users, which is the response.data will give us the user, and then we are going to map through it, and we are going to take the user and user dot name we are going to take, because let's just do the name, this name, this any, this we are going to show. Okay, okay, then after that so Axios will do this API call. So it will either be a success or be a failure. Most cases it will be a success if your internet connection is there. If your internet connection is not there, this will be a failure. So the moment I hit this and the internet connection goes off, it will be a failure. But okay, it is a success. In this, then block will what I'm going to do in this, I'm going to take this users dot name and put it in this users, just a variable I'm going to put. This is just a variable in which I'm going to put this users. Okay, and then see what we are going to do, we are going to map through that, and we are passing and we are changing it to have only the name, nothing else. Okay, then we are going to dispatch and fetch user success to a user. I'm going to explain this now. Okay, one sec, let me do the catch part also, which will do the error. So the catch part will give me the error, and dispatch fetch users error dot message. If the error is there, either internet connection is wrong, or will do that error purposefully soon. Okay, so like this I'm going to do, and this, and it is done. So let me save it. Okay. Now from where we are going to call this fetch users, we have to call it, and we are going to dispatch it. Okay, so this thunk is there. So after this, store dot subscribe, and let have console dot log store dot get state, and store dot dispatch fetch users. So the dispatch is done. Let us see once, then I will tell how it is running. No, not is not async action.js we are going to run, and if I'm going to run, see, loading true was done, then it took a microsecond, and then loading become false, and the all of the users I am getting. So how this happened, everything, how does this happen? So let me explain that thing. Okay, so what happened? So this dispatch, we know how the dispatch is going. So dispatch is done, and the first thing, the fetch users request was called. Fetch users request was called. So when this fetch users request was called, dispatch again, with the dispatch function, we're going here, and the type of fetch users request is done. Then our, what is happening, then our this is action creator again. So this action creator will go to the reducer with this fetch users request, and fetch users request will come here, dot 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 state it will do, which is right now all this state. And so these two things will be taken as themselves, like users will be still an empty array, error will be still an empty string, and the loading will be made at as true. Loading will make it true and it will come out. So loading will make it true, and then we are using this console log, so we are getting this thing. Okay, loading is true, users is still a empty array, and array is still a empty string. So now after that, what I am going to do, this API call has been done. So JSON placeholder and whatever is the API call is done, then it is success in this case. So whatever is happening means we are in this users, we are having an array of object. Array of object is there, but we're looping through it, and through map we are changing it to only having the user dot name. So it will contain all those names. Okay, and then this user now is an just array of strings, which is an array of name. So this fetch user success, we are passing this array, we are passing here fetch user success, this array has been passed, and then this users, so whatever can be the variable name is this users, which is an array, which array, this array is like this, this array is like this, whatever array it is. So it is mapping it to the payload. So payload now contains what? Payload now contains an array of strings. Okay, so and then again the magic will happen, this fetch users success, this action creator will go to the reducer. So reducer, this time what will happen, this thing will work, this thing will work, and this is taking three things. Loading, it is making us false because we have got the data. Users, again this users is different, this users, it is making us action.payload, which is nothing but this payload, which is now having that thing, which is an array of strings. So that is done, action.payload, and error is like this. And when it is doing that, we are doing a console log because of this subscribe. So the console log is printing me this thing, and the catch block will not run because whenever there is a success in a promise, this actually returns a promise, then the then block has been run, and if there is an error, then the catch block is been run. So suppose there is an error, so let us do an error, let us intentionally do an error. So there is no endpoint like this. So if I do like this, there will be an error. So I did like this. Okay, now come here, again do the node like this. Again, see, it took a microsecond or something like this after this, and then it did the API call. Okay, now this thing, you know how it came, then it did the API call, but the API call failed. API call failed, and from the promise the reject has been returned. So resolve reject, if you want to see, you can see some of my video will be there, and then this catch block will run. Okay, fetch users failure, the catch will run now, because this will not run, the catch block will run, because in the case of reject the catch block is run. So this will go here, and fetch users failure, this thing will run, and the payload will be error payload. And when we get an error, it is generally a string. Okay, so this is there, it will come here, loading, it will make it as false, users, it will make anyways it didn't got the users, so it is empty array. And action.payload, which is a string, it will get, and then it is going to print with this subscribe, and then what it is there. So error, we're getting request failed with error code 404, whatever it is there, and these things are there. So this is how we do it. Okay, so this is how we do it. And our, one sec. Okay, so this completes our today's class, because I have completed the Redux part with the JavaScript. So this is not a real thing, as I was telling, and let me stop the sharing now. and we are going to learn tomorrow to do this thing with the real thing, with the React Redux project. As I've told, React Redux projects are the main thing, because that is how Redux is been used. Because there is a problem in React project, and that is the scaling problem. Why scaling problem is there? Because it doesn't have a centralized state. As I always tell, that Redux has a lot of less thing, React has a lot of less thing, and whatever we want, we add to it. So I was taking an interview the other day, and that person was telling me that I still take interviews for some companies or something. So I was taking the interview, and that person told me that he never used Redux, and he was working in a mid-level company, and in their company they always use contacts. They never have touched Redux and all. So that was a big no-no, because anyway you have to have some, even if a company doesn't use, you have to know Redux, or else it's a big no-no for me. Because in the industry you're going to use Redux, and if you don't know Redux, how can I take you? Okay, so that is like, and that's the reason I have to reject that candidate like that. So that is like that, Redux is very much required, and it is not that much complicated. See, might be this code is also not that much complicated. A lot of the things are there which are inbuilt in Redux, like this the connection from the action creator to the reducers, and all those things are interconnected. All those things are sort of magic, it happens, but that magic happens to all software. All softwares are, a lot of npm packages and all those things have been added in software to make it much easier for us. Or else the earlier days we used to code in C, C++, they used to be very tough type of programming language. All these things, all these packages are made by a third party. This is the power of open source. This is something which was done through open source. This Redux things and all these things are there. So this is to make our life easier, and this is not that much tough. And when we see it in a React Redux project, we'll see that it is even much more easier than that. Because everything, see, like this store and action creator and your reducers, we are going to keep it in different files, and I am going to explain it in a very good way. It will be much more easier for most of the people who are learning from this. So with this I am going to end today's call. And again, this is also a part of certification program. A lot of people might require this certificate, that they know Redux very well. So I have given a certification link also below. Those who want to do the certification in Redux can check this out, check the link, and you will get a nice certificate once you complete the assignment and all. Okay, so that is there, and you will be also welcomed in the community. So with this I will end today's stream. We will meet tomorrow, and tomorrow we will do React with Redux. Okay, thank you.